Hi guys, today is my rest day and I wanted to do a little video um, on godly life. Whenever I'm going to do a video about God and what I believe in, I am not here to preach. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but I'm going to tell you the things that affected my life or made my life better. So I'm going to be talking about what has happened to me and how it changed me and what worked for me. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to hear what I've got to say, but I wish somebody was out there like me, would talk to me and tell me these things that I had to go through and discover on my own. So today I want to talk about marriage and I want to talk about kids. I absolutely love when you tell people like they're struggling with their kids or they're struggling with their marriage, and when you give them a tip, they'll be like, oh, no, you're not married, you don't have kids, you can't tell me. It's like, really? Strange. And love people who you would tell them, hey, honey, read this book, it's awesome, it works. No, I don't read books, books never work. Nobody should have a relationship and read a book about a relationship or about kids. It's a no, don't ever offer me anything like this. And I'm sitting back and I'm like thinking, doctors go to college. Oh wait, they don't do any books. They don't learn anything from books. They just born doctors. Teachers, born teachers. Any profession you take, every single human being that learned something actually learned by experimenting, by trial and error. But there's smart people who learned it from the people who tried and didn't err, which is they would write a book, and then the people who are smart, they'd be like, hey, I'm going to read this book, I'm going to find out what didn't work for them, what worked for them, and so on. And I love my favorite people are the biblical people. They'll be like, oh, no, you never read any books, you read only Bible. But I have so many issues in my marriage. And you're like, so if you can't read any books and you should be reading Bibles, then if you're reading Bible, how come you have problems in your marriage or with your kids? I wonder. I'm not pointing anyone in particular. I have so many people who talk like that. It just drives me literally crazy because I don't get it. If you want knowledge, if you want to understand life, you need to learn. I literally believe I am like totally into walking through every church and talking to every pastor and be like, you need to have a marriage 101, marriage 102, marriage 479, whatever the number is. And about kids, because no wife or husband or child comes with, what are they called? Textbook, whatever, manual. We don't have that. And there are way smart people out there who have done years and years of study, who came up with all these really awesome, good advices, and people just say they don't work. Well, have you ever tried? No, but I know it doesn't. Well, how do you know it doesn't work if you never tried, if you never sat down, read a book, and applied what the book said? If you didn't do that, don't say it doesn't work. If you didn't listen to your pastor, don't say it doesn't work. If you don't read a Bible, don't say it doesn't work. I am totally for the Bible. Don't get me wrong. I believe that if you read a Bible and no other books, you'll be good. But for some of us, we are not. Bible is a very difficult book to read. You have to be in tune with God so much that you don't breathe without God. And then when you read every book in the Bible, it opens up to you. Well, some of us struggle in life. Some of us not as close to God as we would love to be. And so people would come up, pastors will come up with all these books or seminars to make your life better. If you don't want to learn anything about it, then this video is not for you. But for those of you who do want to learn about how your marriage can be better, how your kids can be better, then I will be posting more videos on it. I have only a few books because I had to rearrange my room and I had to remove all my books. But I left a few books that are like, I'm literally going to say this should become your second Bible, and I'm not kidding about this. The greatest book that I ever read on children is, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's called The Minds of Boys by Michael, and I think it's Gurian or Gurian, I don't know how to pronounce it right. He is like the best guy in the world. He did, I believe, 20, maybe 30 years by now, research on minds of boys and girls. And then there's the book The Wonder of Girls and The Wonder of Boys. And he has way more books than just these. And these books are like key to understanding your children, understanding your husbands, understanding your wives, because he starts with birth and he ends with, he has like young men, adults, and all kinds of books. But if you read just these 3 books, you will be amazed at how much you will change towards the boys and girls, brothers, sisters, husband, wives. It's just amazing the information that he have. I am totally in love with these books because they have changed my life so much. And some people be like, I'm watching a little boy and he has some issues with authority where he thinks he's in charge. When I come in the room, he listens, he understands, he knows what's going on, because I understand the structure of his brain, how it works, what doesn't work. He will listen to me, no problem. He won't listen to my mom, and he won't listen to my sister. I have this authority over him, and the only way I do that is because I've studied about kids. I've read these books, and I'm using all these laws that apply to boys' brains. Same thing with girls. I remember, I'll never forget this. One little girl came with her mom, and she also had issue with authority. And mom be like, baby, go change your boots. She's like, I don't want to see my boots. And I'm like, okay, wait till mom leaves. So her mom left, and that girl was in my group when I worked at daycare. So that mom left, and this girl comes over to me. I said, hey, sweetie, go change your boots. Walks into the room without saying one word to me. Changes it, go change your boots into shoes. So she goes into the room, changes her boots, comes back. Why? Because I have the authority. How come I have the authority? I was never born like this. I was never born with, oh, I know all about kids. I know what works, what doesn't work. Have I failed? I failed so much in my life. I had so many mistakes. I've done so many wrong things. But you know what? I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm getting better by looking at other people, by looking at my mistakes and making myself better. Same thing about marriage. There are so many broken marriages over simplest, weirdest things, and they can be fixed within like one thing that can be changed in your life, 2 things that can be changed in your life, but you don't know those, like the key, you don't know those keys, and you're trying to open a cabinet, and you've tried everything. Let's say you don't know that it opens with a key. You've tried everything, and you are ready to give up and just leave this cabinet and walk away, even though you know it's full of something that you need. So this human being comes over and says, hey, use this key, it works. No, I've tried everything, it won't work. Well, maybe if you use your brain and say, hey, maybe this person knows what they're talking about. What is so hurtful to stick the key in, turn it, and see if it works? And if it doesn't work, put the key aside, try something else. I'm going to post a link on one of, I don't know, I think he's a pastor. He did a seminar on marriage. And I tell you, if you really pray about this, and I would highly recommend, pray before you watch it and say, Lord, I need change in my marriage. I don't care if you're Catholic, I don't care if you're Buddhist, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're atheist. Watch these videos, and let me tell you, it will change your life. I know it will, if you will do as the videos explain. He goes into depth of women brain and men brain. Once again, everything that he's talking about. Mark Gunor, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I will post a link here for you in the description, I believe, like down here somewhere in the description of where you guys can get. And I think there's like 3 videos that you should watch, and I think they're each 2 hours, an hour, and another one an hour, something like that. But they're so important. You want changes in your life, they're going to cost you. It's going to cost time, it's going to cost a lot of energy, a lot of change, but they will work. I will do a separate video on shortcuts. I will talk about that, but today I just want to talk about marriage and kids. I highly suggest, if you're married or getting ready to be married, load yourself up with books. If you're ready to have kids, or you do already have kids, read about it, understand the brains of the children, understand brains of your husband's wives. Your life is going to be so simple, because after I read books about hyper children, and I used to work with kids who had emotional disability, and after I read that book, I said, why nobody point this book out to me? Because my life would have been so much easier with these kids if I would have known this. So please do yourself a favor, your husbands, your wives, your kids, learn, study, because marriage is the most important thing in kids in your life. You go to school, you pay billions of dollars to school to learn something about a career that might not never work out for you, and you will not work for what you have gone to school for. But marriage and kids and your family is the most important thing. That would be the only thing left beside you when everybody else leaves you. So I highly suggest read all the material on marriage that people suggest you. Listen to preachers' seminars, because it will change your life. If you don't want to do that, once again, it's totally up to you. It's optional. But I highly suggest this, because in so many areas my life was changed, because my relationship with Dad changed a lot because of these books. I used to have a very difficult relationship with my dad, but now I love that man. No matter how bad, how good, whatever ups and downs, I love him. And there was one person in my life that I said, God, I did really say this. I said, God, if I had a gun, I'd shoot that person, shoot, because I was so angry with that person. And my life has changed so much because of the studies that I did, and they changed because my eyes opened up on simple things. And sometimes it was in a revelation that would come to me. So it wasn't just the books, it was the books, the Bible, and me going through all these things. And once again, it's about you being healthy, not only physically, but first and most is spiritually. If you are right here, everything will be right. You can be an overweight person, you can be the ugliest person in the world, but if you're right here, people will want to be you. But if you're not here, no matter how much money you have, nobody would want to be you. I used to think that, celebrities, it's a cool thing, it's blah blah blah. But now I look and I feel sad for them. Like, I don't have anything, but I have God in my heart, to the point where I don't need anybody. I don't need anything. I only need God. And God fills me up so much that everything around me is kind of like, it's nice to have. But I don't feel like, I need it. I'm going to die if I don't have it. I used to be that way. I used to be addicted to things. And that's another subject. I will talk about addictions in another video. But like I said, today it's about marriage and kids and you. If you don't change you, nothing will change. You need to change first, most spiritually, and your physical transformation will take place. So care about you, think about you, because God cares about you. God loves you. He wants you on his team. And that's the most important thing. Your peeps might leave you, your husband might leave you, your kids might leave you. Everybody might leave you. I might not be here telling you another video, but you know what? God is there for you. He will always be there for you, and He will never ever forsake you if you don't forsake Him. Always remember, God says, if you, then I. So you need to work towards God, and God will work towards you. So have a happy, healthy life that includes God in the first place and everything else in the second. If God comes first, your life will be a miracle, happiest thing you have ever experienced. If God comes second, third, whatever, never comes, I'm sorry to say this, but your life will not be happy no matter how much you try, no matter how much money you acquire, no matter how much people around you, you will not be happy. There are certain things in our heart, spaces that cannot be filled with anything but only with God. So I love you all. Talk to you guys later whenever I decide to do my next video. So have a great day and listen to God. Pray and be next to Him. There's no life without God. I love you guys. Bye.